Hi guys, Bryant here with Fanbase Press for at Long Beach Comic Con 2016. And once again, I'm talking to one of my favorite artists, Georges Jeanty. Georges, how you doing today?
Hey, good, Brian. How are you?
Doing well. Super excited to see you again. I know that
Always a
we
pleasure.
don't always see each other. You've moved to the other side of the country, but I catch up with you when I can.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what you've been doing recently. We know that you're attached to the new Serenity volume. It's No Power in This Verse, right?
No Power in the Verse.
Okay,
yes.
so I imagine there's not too much you can talk about. It's kind of under wraps for the most part right now. But what can you tell us about this new chapter in Serenity?
Well, in generalities, the crew is still together, but I think with this series, they become a little more fractured in this go-around. So a lot of the relationships are going to be tested. A lot of the alliances might be a question to a certain degree. But it's still chock full of what you would expect for a Serenity story, and it's good. It's a nice continuation from Leaves on the Wind.
Okay, and Leaves on the Wind really like reinvigorated the fandom. We had a few other comics, but this was the first continuation, official continuation. Brought us back into that universe, introduced some new characters.
Continuation after the movie,
right? After the movie. So one thing I guess that I'm kind of reading between the lines with what you're saying is this more of like an Empire Strikes Back-esque story? We're getting to a place where the drama is kind of rising a notch?
It's funny you say that because my editor actually said that. I thought the ending was a little ambiguous, and when I talked to her about it, Freddie Miller, she said, yeah, think of it more as an Empire Strikes Back thing, where we've resolved this, but there is still a bigger issue that needs to be done, which will be, hopefully, in another series after this one comes out.
So hopefully fans have even more to look forward to.
So hopefully, yes. Or if nobody buys it, then it'll just go
You
into
better
obscurity.
pre-order this book. I mean, you need to make sure the third chapter's out there.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem. More Serenity?
Yeah, I guess that with the fan base we have with the Serenity Firefly, they're going to deliver. You also, you've worked on the Buffy comics. You also have this Buffy coloring book coming out from Dark Horse, right?
Mm-hmm. Actually, Dark Horse has a Buffy coloring book and a Serenity coloring book.
Okay, excellent.
And I did about 4 pieces for the Buffy coloring book, yes.
What are your feelings on it? I mean, we've had this new resurgence in adult coloring books. I know DC has done coloring covers.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on this?
I don't get it. I know it's well, now that it's for adults, it's less on the coloring and more for the psychological calming.
The stress relief.
Yeah, it's a stress reliever, and I'm like, wow, I've never thought to think of a coloring book as a stress reliever, but that's me. I love the idea when they are doing it with original artwork, but too many people just want to make a quick buck. And they just reprint these things that you've seen left and right just without the colors on.
Of course.
And I don't think that necessarily makes for a good coloring book. I think, a coloring book, when you really do look at it, does follow a certain rule and have certain guidelines, whether they're obvious or not. And when I was doing my Buffy pieces, I was very conscious to keep this a coloring book because I'm so composition concerned. It's just natural for me to want to put blacks in an issue.
Sure.
And of course, it's a coloring book, so you're going, well, the less color, because black would be considered a color, the better the coloring book. So it was a very thought process for me.
You got to remember to let the audience add the blacks.
Let them do it, exactly. And I'm like, no, it just looks better. I can't imagine Mike Mignola doing a coloring book. He'd go crazy.
So, in addition to the coloring book, we have a season 11 of Buffy coming up. Is there any chance we're going to see you return at all to the Buffyverse?
There might be some fill-ins here and there that I would be doing. I actually don't know specifically or have any more information beyond that, but yeah.
Is that something that you would look forward to? You miss the Buffyverse?
I do. At this point, it's been 5 years since I've done any Buffy, and I miss her. Just very much like Joss was when he came over to season 8. I can only assume he missed that whole idea and the world and all of that. And I do. I'm very curious to see how I handle Buffy now as opposed to back then, given what I know and all the things that I've done.
Sure.
So should be very interesting.
And to just take a step back for a second, are you able to tell us the subjects of the pieces that you have for the coloring book?
I know there was a gentleman piece in there. I did a Drusilla, because they were saying whatever you want to do. It's the Buffy universe.
Nice.
Doesn't necessarily have to be Buffy.
Yeah.
And I did a Drusilla. It was a while ago. I did them now.
So definitely Drusilla, definitely a gentleman.
Couple Buffys, and then a Buffy. I know the Scoobies. I did a Scooby one. So.
Well, I'm super excited to see the Drusilla pieces, because I know that I've seen we're both friends with Juliet Landau, and I've seen a few pieces that you've done for her that are just
pretty
amazing.
Much why I did it. Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm like, hey, you know what, Juliet, Drusilla should be represented here. Boom, I'm gonna do it.
Excellent. I know that wasn't really a character that you ever really got to play with in the actual comic, right?
No, there was talk back when she was going to be doing her own book. I actually did the covers for that, which haven't seen the light of day yet, unfortunately. So yeah, it was very close, but no, we still haven't officially done anything together.
What other fandoms or franchises would you like to play around in? Are there other ones that are close to your heart that you haven't got to touch?
All of them. I did an X-Files cover for IDW a couple years ago,
saw that.
Which was nice. I love Godzilla and just all of the genre stuff, Star Trek, anything that's good that I'm watching that I get into. I would love to do the comic adaptation. I mean, I would love to do a Planet of the Apes, something or other.
That would be cool.
I have this Logan's Run idea that's been in my head for years that I would love to get out. So yeah, really, if it's cool sci-fi, I'm probably on it to some degree.
And I also saw recently on, I think Instagram or maybe Facebook, but you have some covers and some work on a new Gambit collected volume that Marvel released. Is that
well, funny enough, the new Gambit, I didn't know it was out. The new Gambits, they're collecting Origins is what they're calling it. And yeah, I just happened to do the back cover. And it's one of those things, Marvel's just really going through their catalog now and putting stuff together.
Okay.
I had no idea, so I was like, hey, did you guys know about this? Because I didn't know about this, so be sure to pick it up type of a thing.
Excellent.
But yeah, I had no idea that it was coming out, so.
Well, cool. Is there anything that, anything else that they're working on that you can share with us at this time?
Working on specifically, no, it's been, man, I will say, and I know I said this with Leaves on the Wind, Serenity is hard. And while I feel a lot more comfortable with the art, I don't know how it's possible, but this time it was actually harder.
Really?
Harder for me to do this.
Because
I couldn't tell you why.
So it's not necessarily the spaceship that's I know that was previously what we discussed.
Serenity herself, and funny enough, this series kind of gets away from the ship and goes more into what's happening with the Alliance and all of the other subplots that were really suggested in the movie but never really gone into. So the ship itself was not an issue. It was just, I don't know, I think given when you're allowed to create a whole new world, essentially, because, they land on different worlds that have different technologies and different setups, it leaves it open to the point where I guess it was overwhelming that, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, because there's no limit, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you can argue, well, this isn't the Miranda planet, or this isn't Earth, or wherever else we might have seen on Serenity. It was open for me to do whatever I wanted to do. So I guess sometimes having too many choices is just too difficult. We need to be told, go here, and do that.
Well, I know I'm picking tidbits out of what you're saying, but so I can guess that we're going to visit some unseen locations in this new series.
We are, yes.
Okay. Don't say anything that's going to. I know.
I'm trying to how to word it, but no, it's this essentially the Alliance is still after the crew of the Serenity, but in an odd mix-up as well. The Browncoats are getting involved, but everybody, it seems, has their own agenda, and Mal, of course, is his own guy, so he is really forced to say, am I going to go in this direction or in this direction? Even though I may sympathize with these guys, I may not agree with everything they're doing.
Sure.
So a lot of, like I said in the beginning, a lot of their of the characters get tested because of this in this new series.
And you don't need to give us specifics, but did you get to play or depict any characters, returning characters that we haven't seen in the Leaves on the Wind?
Well, B comes back. That character was briefly suggested, Iris. She was one of the what River is.
Right,
and I still don't know if they have a name.
The altered individuals, or
she comes back, and one of the operatives comes back as well. So
excellent.
We're getting that, yeah. And then we see a few new brown coats in this series that we've never seen before.
Well, I'm super excited to check that out.
Yeah.
As you know, we always like to, given that we're fan-based press, we like to talk to people about what they're a fan of. It doesn't have to be comic related. Just something for our viewers. What are you personally a fan of lately?
You should have told me this at the beginning, because I would have started thinking about it. I did watch that Stranger Things, which I thought was really good. Ash versus the Evil Dead, I just thoroughly enjoyed. I thought that was really, really good.
Have you seen any of the comic movies that have come out recently? Suicide Squad or Civil War? What have you been? What ones did you really enjoy?
I really enjoyed Civil War, although I couldn't have called it a Captain America movie. That was more of an Avengers film.
Yeah, Avengers
really.
3.5 or something,
Exactly.
or 2.5.
Because as much as Captain America was in it, or it was about him, I'm going, you know what? That's not really a him movie.
Sure.
This is more everybody, apparently. And Suicide Squad was fun. I thought it lost itself a little bit in the film there.
Sure.
But I mean, Batman, Superman, I would have liked it to be much more than it was, unfortunately. I love those characters. But yeah, I'm there watching it all. In my defense, I've seen all of those films twice, so I either know how much I did like it or know how much I didn't like it.
Well, I definitely appreciate that, because so many people just have a reactionary, reaction, and it's nice to kind of go like, all right, what are these people trying to accomplish? What story are they telling? What version of the characters?
What did they get right, or what did they fall short in? Yeah, so I try not to be just, oh my God, that's the worst thing I ever saw.
Sure.
And I'm all fine with that. And people have said that about my work, actually. I'm like, if you do that, though, be ready to explain your position.
Sure, of course.
Because just having a blanket statement by saying that sucked, to me, it's not an informed opinion.
Sure.
Tell me why it sucked, and then we can develop a dialogue from there.
So I can assume that you're kind of excited about this new world we're living in, where we have things like Suicide Squad as a movie, or Batman and Superman in a film together.
And we've got Supergirl, and The Flash is doing well, and Arrow. Are you kidding? This is... I mean, as a kid, I would have lost my mind. This sort of renaissance that's happening.
I am, as an adult, I am losing my mind.
Because really the comic angle was the exception, not the rule, and now it's very standard and practiced.
Excellent. Well, let's tell people where they can find your work and you online, if you're willing to share that.
Yes, as always. Kaba Lounge, KABALOUNGE.com is where my home is digitally, and I am now on Instagram. Apparently, we got to do all that stuff.
Yeah, it's the new one.
Twitter and whatever else is coming up. Grindr, I think I'm on. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, whatever the new media is, I try to stay concurrent.
All right. Well, excellent. I'll remind people, hey, pre-order No Power in the Verse.
No Power in the Verse.
Look for those coloring books, and stop by Kaba Lounge. You can find out what Georges is up to. Thank you so much for talking with us, Georges.
As always.
And once again, this has been Bryant Dillon here at Long Beach Comic Con. If you want to check out more interviews like this one, go to fanbasepress.com.